I want to shift our attention over to Anthony Davis, who struggled a bit in Game 3. AD scored 15 points, only 9 total shot attempts, had some foul trouble, and he was a minus 26 in 33 minutes played. So, Richard, how can the Lakers get Anthony Davis back on track tonight?
Well, only Anthony Davis can get Anthony Davis on track, right? Let's look at this. Kelly Olynyk, who averaged 8 points a game in the regular season, is averaging 20 points a game in the last 2 games. So defensively, he hasn't been as sharp. And I'm not saying that he's the only person guarding him, but the 4-man that are the 4 or 5-man that he's getting matched up with is playing well. He's just kind of struggled to get his rhythm. But there was a lack of aggressiveness. Even if you look at in the first quarter, him and Bron both turned the ball over a ton. Anthony Davis has to keep it simple. I understand that it's sexy that he can shoot a step-back 18-footer, but that's not what's going to dominate and abuse the Heat. Him down on the block, really hitting the offensive rebounding glass, and really just dominating with the physicality. That is what's going to get him going again.
And to add to that, I think, like you said, getting AD going, you feature him in the first 3 or 4 plays at the start of the game, just to get the ball in his hands, just to make the decisions. I mean, he's been ultra aggressive, particularly in Game 1 and Game 2, and so you want him to get the ball and just go to work immediately and just feel good about himself, whether he's putting the ball in the basket or making plays, getting the ball to their star players, because if he doesn't stay out of trouble, they can find themselves in this situation again.
Yeah.
And this is, again, where we see LeBron play a role also. Richard, what do you know about the way LeBron works with AD in between on the days where he hasn't had as good a game?
Well, I can't speak for their relationship because I was never on the team with them, but just as far as his involvement with teammates, Anthony Davis knows how important he is, and Bron does a very, very good job. You see him do it, ultimately throughout his career of lifting players up, telling them how important they are and what is really, really needed. But this is one of those moments in time where, Anthony Davis has to be, on his own a little bit, right? He's got to figure this out because, LeBron James isn't always going to be the individual that's going to be like, hey, you can do this. Hey, it's like, no. At one point in time in Game 2, he was 11 for 12. And here we are before Game 4 talking about how to get Anthony Davis going.
Yeah. Right. I mean, look, and with Anthony.
Let me say this. Go ahead.
Yep. Go ahead, Dan.
Go ahead. Oh, well, let me say this. If you looked in that clip, that guy who was walking beside him is another guy who can help motivate and put him in the right places. And Jason Kidd, who is a champion and a great motivator in his own right, he does it not really on the court. He's more efficient and shows his worth off the court. So I feel like he has a lot of people around him. But I agree with you, RJ. At the same time, you take all of that information, but right now in his room, as he prepares for Game 4, is when he should get himself prepared and just say, hey, I'm going to go out and be the dominant Anthony Davis that I am, and we'll see what happens. But being tentative doesn't help. That doesn't help the Lakers. Just go for it.
No, and Rach, we saw it with some other series when we saw it like in the Denver series where we have like 2 rebounds or 3 rebounds. Even if the Lakers win those games, that's not your best version of Anthony Davis. He knows that. Everyone knows that. And it's like, well, how do we get him going on the rebounding side? Well, you don't. That's effort, that's hustle, that's focus, that's intensity. And so here we are in the NBA Finals, and we know how good he is and that he is really and truly the key to the Lakers winning a championship. So only he can find that motivation. There's nothing else there to motivate.
And he's playing at MVP level. So they need the MVP level performance from him because he is worthy. If they were to sweep and he could be the MVP. So if he gets back on track, that's what they need.
Yeah. Well, they're not sweeping. We know that now, right? Miami Heat had their say about that.
But he still has a chance.
Richard, we don't need to see the top of that
RJ.
bald head. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.